Leading prayers at church can be really daunting. Where do you even start? Well, today we're going to be sharing some of our best secrets for how to write and plan really great prayers for church, including 3 questions to ask yourself before you lead your intercessions. Secret number 1 is to pray about things that your congregation cares about. When you're leading prayers at church, you're not just praying from yourself. You're interceding on behalf of the whole congregation. So you need to think about the things that they want to pray about, the things that they care about. So think about the people who are in your congregation. Think about the service that your prayers are part of. Who is it that's going to be there? And what are the things that are on their mind at the moment? Make sure you're not just focusing on those things that you're really passionate about. As important as those things are to pray about, you don't want your prayers to be solely focused on those things, when they might not be the most important things to everyone else. To help with this, you can also look at the news. Look at what's going on in the world right now. What are those things that are impacting the people in your congregation? And then pray about those things. Secret number 2 is don't try to preach. You're not there to get a message across to the congregation. You are there to intercede on their behalf, to lead them in prayer. You don't need to try and teach them anything or get across any kind of message, even if you think it's really important. It is the role of the preacher in that service to do that teaching, not you. And trying to preach or trying to get your own thoughts and opinions across in prayers can really distract from the prayers that you're doing. So as you're writing your prayers, make sure you stay really focused on that interceding, on that bringing things before God, and prayer. You should be speaking to God, not to your congregation, not trying to get a message to them. Secret number 3 is to allow space for the prayers that you don't know about. Now, I mentioned before that you want to be praying for the things that the people in your congregation care about, but you don't know everything that is going on in their lives. You don't know the things that are really important to them perhaps at this moment in time. So you need to leave space for them to be able to bring those things before God in prayer too. And you could do this by asking questions and leaving space and giving prompts for people to think about maybe people they know that they want to bring before God, or situations in the world that they particularly feel they want to pray for, that God has put on their hearts. I think this is also particularly helpful if you have younger Christians, people who are new to the faith and new to prayer in your congregation, because it models for them what prayer looks like and also encourages them to bring their own prayers before God, and kind of gives them a quite simple way of doing this to help them get started. And secret number 4 is to engage the congregation in your prayers. Whilst you are interceding on behalf of your congregation and leading them in prayer, you don't want them just to sit there and listen to you pray. You want to bring them with you, encourage them to pray alongside you, because you're praying together as a community. So how are you going to engage them in your prayers? Again, I think this is particularly important if you have new young Christians in your congregation. It's a great way to model prayer to them, to show them how they can be praying at home on their own, as well as here at church. And there are so many different ways to do this. As I mentioned before, you could ask questions, give prompts, and allow people to bring their own prayers before God. But you could also do other things. You could add visual prompts and have images on a screen to help people focus on something and maybe use those images to inspire different prayers. Or you could perhaps use actions. You could give people something to hold or something to do while you're praying, something to help them focus on those prayers. As long as you are still encouraging everyone to spend time in prayer and interceding on their behalf, there are so many different fun and creative and unusual things that you can do to help engage your congregation during those prayers. So those are our 4 secrets for leading prayers at church. But now you've written your intercessions, I want you to ask yourself 3 questions to look at these prayers and make sure they are doing what they're supposed to be doing. So question 1 is, do my prayers speak on behalf of my congregation? Do they reflect the things that people care about? Are they appropriate for the congregation that I'm speaking to? Question 2 is, are my prayers easy to understand, even to someone who has perhaps never been to church before? You don't want to have too much kind of Christian lingo or fancy words that maybe other people wouldn't understand. Your prayers should be accessible for everyone. And question 3, do my prayers encourage the congregation to pray for themselves? This could be by engaging them in the prayers, encouraging them to bring their own prayers before God, and also modelling how they can pray throughout the week too. If you can answer yes to all 3 of these questions, I think you have some wonderful prayers and are ready to lead your prayers at church. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about leading prayers at church or want to see some more fun and creative ways of leading intercessions. But I hope this video has been helpful. If it has, please do give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more videos from us. And do check out this video to see one of my favourite fun ways of leading prayers at church. And we will see you next Saturday for a new video. Bye!